Hello everyone, it's your boy Genius with G Squared Tactical, and what I have today is the Echelon 4.0C, and I have the CZ P09C Nocturne. I have carried both of these guns. Someone asked if I could do a side-by-side, which one is better, which one would I prefer to carry, a comparison if you will. I have carried both of these guns a good bit actually, and if I could only have one, if they were going to take one from me, which one would I choose to keep? Well, I'm going to try my best to answer that today. Don't know if I'll succeed in doing that, but people ask me all the time to do comparisons. Sometimes they're silly, not even worth really doing. But if I do still have both that they ask me to compare, I will do a comparison. I obviously still do have these, and like I said, I have carried them a lot, so I think I can do a fair comparison. They are very, very comparable. Okay, before we get started doing that, just want to invite you to know Jesus Christ as your Savior. If you do not know or do not know how you can know, hit me up in the comments section. Send me an email at gsquaredtactical@gmail.com. Be glad to help you with that and explain to you how you can know for sure you're going to go to heaven when you die. So, as you know, I done the review on the P09C Nocturne and the F, flawless with both. People argued that people were running screws into their extractor rod and spring, etc. down in there. And I don't know if anyone has proven that that is actually even possible. I had a gunsmith that I trust a lot tell me that the extractor and the rod and spring and everything in this model or this setup is in its own channel, and it's not even possible for that to happen. However, I had none of those issues. Locking back on the empty mag, or locking back on the mag with one left in the magazine. I mean, just the ammo issues, mag tech things. I had no problems with this gun. Love this gun just as much as I did my P07, except now this one is optic ready. So I had no issues with it. I didn't put quite as many rounds through the Echelon, but it was flawless as well. And I do really, really like both of them. So let's just talk about some of the differences real quick before we actually do the shooting, because that's what matters the most. We'll start up top. So obviously you have the luminescent or day-night sights on the CZ where they absorb light essentially, and they will brightly illuminate when you walk into a dark room for a set amount of time. It's usually around 4 or 5 minutes. They are not true night sights on the Echelon. You do have the U, if you will, almost a half circle at the rear, and you do have a true tritium field night sight green in the front. Now the slide, obviously on the CZ, as you know, they have the real thin slides. They have the lower bore axis, and so they have that real super thin slide up there. So in no way, shape, or form, even though they brought these serrations around the top and they are way more aggressive than they were on the original P07, in no way, shape, or form are they as aggressive as they are on the Echelon. Okay, so the Nocturne, obviously, as I commented in the original several videos I did, it is cut for a micro optic, whereas the Echelon is cut for a what I would say a full size RMR type optic. So I like that a lot better. I wish a larger gun like this, even though it is compact, it's got a little bit of weight to it. A larger gun like this, I just wish it would have had a full size or RMR type cut on it. Okay, this is hammer fired, obviously, striker fired on the Echelon, and of course, like I said, the Echelon is cut for a full size optic and does have better serrations. Overall, just easier to manipulate the slide. They both have plastic guide rods, and they actually, the Echelon is ever so slightly longer in every way really than is the CZ. Not by a whole lot, a little bit longer, maybe a quarter inch or so. Didn't look up the statistics, or the stats should I say, on, or the specs, that's what I'm looking for. I didn't look up the specs, I just laid them down on top of one another, and the Echelon is what looks like about a 1/4 inch longer and slightly longer in the grip as well. And so I guess at that point, then, well, the Echelon has a 3-slot pick rail up front and a single slot here on the Nocturne. They both have really nice, large, squared off trigger guards, nicely undercut. Both of them are serrated on the front. And let's see, ambi on the slide lock, not ambi on the mag release. On the Echelon, it is ambi on the slide lock and ambi on the mag release. Okay, the texturing for me anyway on the Nocturne is a little bit more aggressive than it is on the Echelon. The Echelon, I mean, albeit good enough, I don't like super aggressive texturing. The texturing on the Echelon is good. I just prefer the texturing on the Nocturne. Okay, we do have the, what do they call that, lanyard loop or strap option there on the bottom of the Nocturne. You do not on the Echelon. They both have interchangeable back straps. The Echelon came with a 15 and a 18 round magazine, although I'm fairly easily able to get 19 rounds in the extended magazine, and you also have the option of extending the second magazine as well. It comes with an extra floor plate and a mag loader. Comes in a nice, soft bag, if you will, and the CZ comes in a hard case. Okay. Again, like I said, very, very comparable. It's not really fair, I don't think, in the application of these to compare the trigger. We'll do it from a single action on the CZ. You have a good bit of take up as you would expect. It is hammer fired. When it hits a wall, it is a rolling break. There is no seeming defined wall, if you will. The reset is okay. Tactile, pushes back on your finger, very audible, yes, that, but it's not super, super short. I don't mind the trigger on this gun because I understand. I like CZ. CZ is my favorite brand, as you guys know, and most of them are hammer fired, so I'm used to it. I like the trigger on a hammer fired gun. I have no problem with it. It's just different, something you have to get used to, right? So on the Echelon, about the same amount of take up. You hit a wall and it rolls a little bit. You know, I said, well, people say, well, there's not a defined wall. Well, I'm not a trigger snob, so I hate doing this. I really do. I hate saying the same old stupid thing. Oh, it's got a short reset. It's very tactile. You know, I really don't care. The trigger on neither one of them are bad, okay? They're both good triggers. So the reset on the Echelon is a good bit shorter, okay? But in no way is it as audible, and in no way does it even come close to pushing back on your finger like it does on the Nocturne, okay? You can really, really feel it on the Nocturne. It almost shoves your finger back forward. You know that it has reset, okay? So although the reset is shorter on the Echelon, so technically I guess you could get quicker follow-ups if you can listen to the reset on the, it's significantly louder, okay? And it pushes back on your finger more. So I don't know. It depends on what you like. I mean, so let's call it even on the resets, you know? The break is a little more predictable, I guess you could say, on the Echelon than it is on the CZ, okay? I think I'm mostly the weight on these. So with the added weight of the full-size Optic over the micro Optic on this one, and then if you were to load up the 19+1 or 18+1, but I can get 19 in that mag, and this only having 15, but you do, this gun is compatible with a lot of other extended CZ platforms, so you can technically put an extended mag in here if you wanted to. But with the added weight, if you kept it factory, the added weight of the ammunition and the optic, it's almost a wash. But although empty, this one comes in around a little over 26 ounces, and the Echelon is just around 24 ounces, okay? Like I said, ounces do make a difference when you're talking about a gun, weights, trigger pulls, things like that. Even the smallest little things make a difference. As you can see, I have taken the Vortex Defender, the CCW Defender off of here, and I have put the Fox Army FXV 22 green dot on this gun. I have bounced these green dots that they've sent me all over the place. I've put them on just a plethora of guns that I've reviewed, and they have been awesome, awesome little optics. My wife loves it. She made me put one on her gun, and I appreciate the over 100 people that has used my discount code, and not a single person has complained one bit or had anything negative to say. In fact, a lot of people reached out and told me they appreciated my recommendation, and they've really enjoyed their optics. So again, Fox Army FXV 22 Pro. I'll put a link up in the corner of the screen. Click on it. Use my discount code G210. That's squared with a D. Make sure it's all capital, G210. So now what I'm going to do is what I've done on the other comparisons. This is 124 grain Igman that I'll be using in both of them. And I'm just going to shoot at one target, okay? Not shooting to see how fast I can shoot necessarily for accuracy, just to feel the recoil. Shootability, if you will. So that's what I'm going to do. Going to start out with the CZ P09 Nocturne here and see how it does. Well, I said I wasn't going to shoot fast, but if you remember the review I did on this gun, you know how much I enjoyed shooting this gun and how fast it was. The slide lock is definitely a lot better, more tactical, if you will, on the CZ. I guess some people would see that as a snag point. It's a little bit more difficult to manipulate the slide lock on the, I guess I'm gonna put the extendo in here. I can't find my, oh, there it is. I can't find my, oh, I was gonna say I can't find my 15 rounder, but I found it. So 15 rounder in the Echelon. Now, granted, the Echelon, although the texturing on the grip is not as good for me anyway as it is on the Nocturne, it does feel fabulous in the hand. It does, man. Don't feel as good as my Kimber Mako R7 Carbon Compact, but it feels pretty doggone close. So let's just do the same thing with it, and then we'll shoot one alternating between the target. Well, as you can see, I missed a couple with the Echelon. So at the end of this video, I'll do that again. To me, the shootability, the recoil, the staying on target, the flatness, if you will, they seem about the same to me, okay? I know that if I say the Echelon seemed a little more snappy, I'm going to catch it in the comment section because of the fanboys of Springfield, but that's okay. I'm going to report my experience, okay? So, but that could be attributed to the added weight as well of in the lower bore axis of the CZ. So I'm going to alternate between the targets. Again, I'm standing here at 10 yards, maybe 11. I did step back a little bit because I got this freaking telephone pole shading me right now, but that's good. Sometimes the sun doesn't hit my optic, but I'm going to alternate between these three targets here. Try, you know, for a little bit of speed, if you will. smoke started clouding up and I was still wearing it out. I love that gun, I'm telling you. If there's anybody that has doubted buying it because of some of the negative reviews. Now I do have the 18 or 19 rounds in here, the Echelon. Gonna do the exact same thing. I have the Trijicon RMR up here with the red dot. So again, you know, I just shot the gun. When I play the video back, sometimes I can tell a little bit better, but I seemingly was faster with the CZ than I was with the Echelon. But like I said, I'm gonna do another just shoot it. Well, what I'm gonna do, this is what I'll do. I'm gonna do what I've done on some of the other ones. I'm gonna flip the camera around and I'm gonna shoot 15 rounds out of each gun on these two separate targets here, shooting for the dead center, and try to slow it down a little bit and see which one I can, you know, I'm more accurate with at that 10 or 11 yard range. And then I'll wrap the video up, maybe speed shooting one more time. But during the accuracy test, I will see which one, I will pay more attention to which one has more muzzle rise and is more shootable, if you will. So let's do that. Okay, so I'm gonna start out here with the Echelon. I have the 15 rounder loaded up to keep it fair. Like I said, I got the rangefinder out. I'm at 11.5 yards, okay? And I'm going to pay attention to, I'm gonna try to shoot slower, and I'm gonna pay attention to that muzzle rise or that snappiness or that shootability, if you will. Boy, that was a tight group. Woo! All right, let's shoot the CZ, and then we'll talk about the snappiness, if we will. All right, here we go. Same deal. Like I said, 124 grain, Igman, 11.5 yards, 10 rounds. Or I'm sorry, not 10 rounds, 15 rounds, shooting for the center of the target with the CZ P09C Nocturne. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. That's going to be a, I don't know. Looks like the group might be a little bit tighter on the Echelon, although I was shooting a little lower. So, but man, freaking awesome with both. So let's turn the camera around. We'll talk a little bit about the shootability. All right, I have the Echelon. That was pretty doggone impressive. So either way, man, you can't go wrong with either one of those. So I got 4 rounds loaded up. I believe that's what I got in here. I'm gonna try to shoot the gun, not shooting at the target, just trying to shoot it in an angle where you can see the muzzle rise. And because I'm gonna say something and I wanna see if it'll pick up on camera for you guys to see as well. Okay, so that's the Echelon. So I got 4 rounds loaded up in the CZ, and I'm gonna do the same thing. Just try to let you see the gun. So there's no question, in my opinion, I can feel it. Again, sometimes on camera, if you don't have a poster board put up or something with lines spray painted on it, it's kind of hard to tell, you know, which one went up further, which one hit harder, all that kind of stuff. Remember, I am using 124 grain ammunition, but with that ammo anyway, which is usually my carry ammo, definitely the CZ, you know, hits a little harder. So if you're not standing there slowly shooting, you know, at a target, making sure you got your dot lined back up, but rather you're alternating between targets. As I mentioned one time before, you have several assailants coming at you, then there's no question in my mind that I stayed on target better when I was alternating with the CZ than I did with the Echelon. So with the Echelon, you know, keeping that tight group, but again, no one's going to be, in my opinion, in a defensive situation sitting there real slowly, you know, shooting and, you know, making sure you maintain that dot and everything like that. You're going to be more than likely potentially alternating, so that matters more in that case. This is a really tough decision for me to make. I am, as you know, a CZ fanboy, so I tried to stay unbiased in this whole situation. If you like Springfield, if Springfield is your jam, then totally would not hurt my feelings at all if they told me they were going to take the CZ and I had to carry the Echelon, because I have carried it quite a bit. Also, I've carried the CZ quite a bit. Now, the Echelon does carry better. It doesn't print as much. It's not as heavy, of course, so it does carry better, and I can be effective with it, okay? The CZ, I am just, you know, again, when alternating and getting on the Texas Star, I'm better with the CZ. So it wouldn't hurt my feelings if they snatched a Springfield from me and told me I could only have the CZ. But if I'm going to be forced to pick one over the other, here it comes. I'm ready. I'm ready for it. I'm braced in the comment section. I'm ready. But I'm going to pick the CZ, okay? The P07 is one of my favorite guns. P09, P07, man, those were my first CZ loves. I love those freaking guns. They get the CZ Shadow Compact, CZ Shadow 2 Compact. Oh man, what a freaking dream that thing is. And so it's basically a metal version of it with a few bells and whistles, if you will. So I just love the P07, and I've always been great and effective with it. So in this case, I'm going to very slightly, for the reason of being able to stay on target better and the better shootability, if you will, when I'm rapid firing with the CZ, I'm going to pick the Nocturne in this case. Again, make sure you know Jesus Christ is your Savior. So consider supporting me on Patreon, $5 a month, cancel anytime. gsquaredtactical.com, click on the 3 lines in the corner. Support channel, you can donate that way as well. Super thanks on YouTube, although they take about 30% of that. I just learned that, so it'd be a lot better if you go over to gsquaredtactical.com and just donate through the website. And Patreon, of course, they take a small portion, but I do get most of that as well. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe, hit the thumbs up, share with your friends and family where they can find the best blue collar, most honest gun reviews on YouTube. And as always, to God be the glory.